Hey,
Hey,
can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. How do I look? Can you see? Look at the gray. How noticeable is that gray?
I wouldn't, no, I didn't see no gray.
Okay. I need to go dab some paint on it. We got some paint the same color as my hair or what? So, how's your day been?
It's been good, been productive in the sense I've been doing a lot of working out and stuff like that. So today, this was my only music events per se. So I've really been investing a lot of time in working out today. I'm actually planning on when we get done, I'm gonna go knock out another one.
Really? So, how many times a day do you work out?
Well, normally one or two, but today I've already done three, so I'm gonna go do a fourth one after we get done here.
Okay. So, are you training for something? Is there some reason you've ramped it
Just
up?
general health, just been the workout routine that my trainer gave me. I've just been really locking it down, honing it in, and getting kind of dialed in where my strength at, so I can start building my PRs and just general strength training,
Now, what are PRs?
personal records.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like
Thanks.
if today I'm hitting 15 pounds, the next time you might try to hit 16 pounds. Just trying to get it up, by reps or by weight.
Now, is that healthy to work out 4 times a day? Doesn't hurt you? It's
If your
okay to
body
do?
can handle it, it's just like anything else. If your body can't handle it, then it's not healthy because you'd be
Okay.
overdoing it. But if your body can handle it, my trainer just told me to know my body. So if I feel good enough to do it, cool. And if I don't, then don't do it. But I feel good.
Well, that's awesome. I love your motivation. I mean, I need some. Can you package some up and mail it up here to me?
I'll should be off fun, yeah.
Thank you so much. I need some motivation and inspiration. I haven't worked out and I mean, I don't know, maybe never. Can't
I
remember.
started the journey actually more as a weight loss focus. So it's like working with my trainer on the program. I lost 43 pounds in 28 weeks. So about a pound and a half a week.
43 pounds in 28 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, I
All right,
went from
tell me about that.
so I went from a size 38, 32 to I just bought some 30, 32s the other day.
So you're down 8 pant sizes.
Hmm.
Okay, so how are you doing that? That's what I need motivation for is and working out's part of that. Don't please tell me working out's not part of
Well,
that.
you don't have to, but it adds to it. So
Hmm.
the diet in itself, you do not have to work out in to see results, but
Okay.
you will see more results if you work out with it. So it's called the circle diet, or it can also be called the anabolic diet, which is kind of it's a focus primarily on calories. How many calories you're allowed to eat. So like, let's say your body needs 2,000 calories normally to not lose or not gain weight. You take 500 off, so you go down to 1,500. So for me, when I first started, my maintenance was about 2,800 calories to not lose or gain weight. So take 500 off, you're down to 2,300. If you do that every day for a week, that's 500 times 7 is 3,500 calories. That's a pound of body fat. So every week you're going to burn a pound of body fat if you're faithful to do that.
Okay.
And
Eh,
so then the secondary part of it is eating enough protein in those. So you're eating foods that are rich in protein, but also trying to eat foods that are not heavy in calories. So you're not eating a lot of butter and oil and heavy ice cream and stuff like that. But they're kind of cool, like make protein ice cream. Um, like earlier, I made a protein mug cake, which looks like a brownie, literally, but it doesn't use actual sugar and butter. It uses more like sweeteners and protein powder and some stuff. Not going to taste quite as good as a big rich brownie, but it's going to do the trick for a lot less calories, and it's going to be a lot more healthy for your body. So doing that plus the exercise, I lost, like I said, about a pound and a half a week, and right now I'm down to about 200 pounds. So now I've kind of shifted my focus to more strength training and not being so hard on the calories, but also not like going buck wild. Um, Still eating healthy, but maybe allowing myself to eat a little bit more, to have extra calories to grow more muscle and stuff.
think that's absolutely amazing. And I'm so impressed. Congratulations. I mean, for sticking to that, that takes a lot of um willpower takes a lot of self-control and a lot of kind of just nitty-gritty. You have to want it, right?
You gotta want it, but it's
Mhm.
really handy when you can find things that you enjoy. So, like, instead of bologna, I buy this low-fat turkey, which it's kind of like eating bologna, but it's not as greasy. Bologna's kind of a greasy thing. And then I found a cheese, a Velveeta cheese. It's low calorie with high protein. I found breads that I use, like keto breads, that are, they're a little less good than the bread I enjoy, but they're nice. So there's things that I've incorporated that I enjoy. So it's not like I'm just eating food that I don't like.
Right.
Um, soda, drinking diet soda. That's part of my diet. Because it's practically 0 calories. It counts as water on my diet, so I can drink 0 calorie soda.
Okay. I don't like 0 calorie soda. So this is a problem I have with weight loss. And I think this is a very common problem. I have done better since I moved. I'm originally from Kentucky, from the Southeast. I've lived all over the Southeast, but I right now live in Northeastern Iowa. So, what I can't get in Northeastern Iowa is ale-8.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Have,
has helped me tremendously,
have you
right?
tried diet soda recently though?
I have. And it's just not because I'm a Coca-Cola girl and I don't want that Mountain Dew. I want that full flavor Mountain Dew. I'm
Have
from
you
Eastern
tried Coke
Kentucky.
Zero yet?
I have. It's
Okay.
better than diet. Okay, so that's better than Diet Coke.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, okay, so with Coke, because I'm so used to that classic taste of Coca-Cola, I have a hard time switching. But now I'll tell you what I do better with is things that I don't normally drink a lot of, like the Dr. Pepper has all different flavors. Like Dr. Pepper has like a Dr. Pepper cream soda that's 0 sugar.
Okay.
Um, and when I couldn't drink the Mountain Dew 0 sugar, but I can drink like the Mountain Dew Baja Blast 0 sugar because it's like my brain doesn't already have a registered taste for those. And so
So
I
that's
don't buck.
cool. Yeah, you're finding things, and I have heard it said that one of the things is if you'll commit to it for a little bit, your brain will slowly rewire to it. And I have kind of found that to be true. Although when I drink this, I know that it has a little bit of diet flavor, but it tastes way better than it used to.
Okay.
But if you have tools, like you found a couple of 0 calorie drinks that you can
Mm-hmm.
enjoy, then you do those and you really, because one of these, you drink 6 of these cans a day or 4 of these cans a day that are real soda, you're piling on a lot of unnecessary calories. It's going to
Right.
make it that much harder for you to lose weight.
And there are people in the world that are going to be watching this that cannot imagine drinking 4 or 6 sodas a day, but we're Kentuckians and that's very common.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
That's kind of
wasn't
what.
even really drinking much soda before the diet, except for at my shows. But in the shows, I would drink probably 800 calories of Sprite during one
Mm-hmm.
show. You'd probably get
Yeah.
one drink per set. You're doing 4 sets.
Yeah.
And, of course, back in my old drinking days, you drink a lot of beer, or I was more of a
Mm-hmm.
bourbon guy, but it adds up. You easily
Right.
drink 1,000, 1,200 calories in a night, not counting your food. No.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Well, do you find that there is, even on diets, there is drinks you can have that are kind of low carb, say skinny drinks? I see people making cocktails with the skinny syrups, the women online on Instagram. And I know a man here in this town that I live in, and he had lost a lot of weight and he was drinking vodka with tonic water, 0 sugar tonic water with a twist of lime. And he
yeah,
said, well, it was low carb, low calorie.
for me, I don't drink alcohol anymore because I cannot drink normal.
Right.
But
Okay.
alcohol has 7 calories per gram, so it's kind of high calorie, and it also reduces your metabolism. So when you
Oh, see,
drink
that's good to know.
alcohol, you're kind of making your job harder. So it's not like the diet is
Okay.
anti-alcohol, but you have to go into it very aware of the effects of what it has, as far as, your metabolism. I
Now,
wish another drink I do besides diet. Let me grab something real quick. I'll show you.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
So this is something that I got not too long ago, and I made it for my son, and he loved it. And this is a pitcher style, so these are Crystal Lights. Put one of these packs.
What is
This is
that?
pink lemonade Crystal Light.
Oh, is
So
it? I bet it's good.
2 quarts.
Is it
I mean, I put this. My son loves it. My son's 12. So when you can find something 0 calorie that your son enjoys too.
pink lemonade Crystal Light. I'm gonna remember that. I bet I would like that.
Yeah, I bought some other ones too. I bought a fruit punch, I think that I haven't gotten into yet, but
Yeah.
the main thing is
So
just to
some
find something that you enjoy. It doesn't, it could be, you know, it could be
well,
plain water. Plain water is a great tool.
one more diet question and then we'll move on.
Sure.
I have an issue with protein. I don't
Okay.
like it. And I know that everybody has said, unless you, and my son has told me the same thing, unless you can start eating protein, you're not going to lose any weight. You need to start eating protein because the reality is I have days I may not eat, I might not crack 600 or 700 calories in a day. I don't eat a lot. I weigh 185 pounds. I've weighed 180. If I ate 3,000 calories a day, I would weigh the same as if I eat 700. I just don't lose weight, but I don't gain weight either. But I have days where I just don't eat. I'm not an eater, but I'm not going to eat eggs ever. I don't like meat very much. I'll eat a burger occasionally. And so that leaves me protein wise eating Greek yogurt, which I do like, but do you know how sick you get of Greek yogurt when you eat it for, months because that's the only protein that you're getting? So what can I do?
I'll show you a couple of options
Okay.
that I use. So you
Okay.
don't like meat?
It's not my favorite. No.
Right. So I'll just show you a couple options that I use that gives you an option. This one's one that is a yogurt, but not a Greek yogurt.
Okay.
This one's one that I bought. Now for me, I can do an entire tub of this at a time. This is a carb smart. This is not a Greek yogurt. This is strawberry. They've got this in peach. This
That's a
entire,
Kroger. I'm out. I don't have Kroger.
well, they might have a different brand, but I'm saying
Maybe.
this is a carb smart.
So get a carb smart yogurt. Okay.
Yeah, get one that doesn't have the sugar in it. So this uses probably erythritol in here, I'm
Mm-hmm.
imagining. But like this whole tub has 45 grams of protein. I'll show you another
Oh,
option, a couple of more
okay.
options that I use that have protein. So another one is stuff like keto bread, keto tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so like this is one brand I get and my son loves, I love, and you
I
buy the
I've gotten that before. I like it pretty good.
so
Mm-hmm.
one slice of this bread has 6 grams of protein. So you eat
Oh,
two sandwiches, you have 24 grams of protein done.
okay. Okay. I can do that.
These little keto carb smart tortillas, each one of these are only 20 calories with 2 grams of protein. You could eat 5, 6 of these, making up little
And I
healthy
have 10.
tacos. Um,
I
get
need
a,
to I have to get myself under control. That's what I keep telling myself
well, let me
over and
show
over, but
you
I have to do it. I have to do
one
it.
more idea. And the thing
Okay.
is you begin to find things like spinach. Spinach is also high. You find
I
things.
love spinach. I can eat spinach. Now I could eat any vegetable, all vegetables all the time. I'll eat.
Spinach, there are some. I'm gonna show you one more thing I use.
Okay.
And this I make with water. This is one of my favorite desserts, actually. So powdered peanut butter. So you take
I've
this.
heard people talking about powder. Now I love peanut butter. I'll eat it right out of the jar.
Here's how I do it. 3 parts this,
Uh-huh.
4 parts water, or you can use milk. It'll add
Okay.
calories. And then for every 10 grams of this, use 1 pack of Splenda
Okay.
or a sweetener, stevia or something, and it makes kind of a nice peanut butter. And then I add this, put this on this or this. And so I can eat a half a pound of peanut butter.
Now, how is that better than regular peanut butter? How is it different?
Way less calories. So
Oh, okay. Less calories. Okay.
with this, yeah, a lot of the fat stripped out. So regular peanut butter, 2 tablespoons is 200 calories.
Oh,
With this, 2 tablespoons is 50 calories.
oh, that is a lot less.
Order of the
Okay.
calories.
Okay.
This has for every 50 calories has 6 grams of protein. So it's got an anabolic ratio. It's over 10% protein. So like I said,
Okay.
if you make, let's say a peanut butter sandwich, you do 30 grams of 30 grams of this stuff, you're going to get, over 10, 15 grams of protein. And then you put it on keto bread. Now me, like I said, I'll make a half pound of it. If you do a half pound of this, you're going to
Yeah.
get your whole protein will be done for the day.
Oh, I can do that.
You eat it with
Okay.
celery or something.
And where are you getting that peanut butter protein?
This one's from
Just
Walmart. This
okay. All right.
it,
Well, we have
the
okay.
name brand is called PB Fit.
Okay.
Like I said, by itself, it's kind of a little bitter, so I would recommend adding a sweetener like Splenda or something like that.
Stevia.
Um,
I'm so used to eating stevia. I actually eat the Splenda brand of stevia, have for years. So I'm
yeah.
pretty used to
Well,
that.
I have to charge up the tablets a little low. I took actually to my aunt the other day, and I introduced her to powdered peanut butter, and she absolutely loved it. You know, anybody that'll
Oh,
try it, they especially if they're like me and they like peanut butter,
I
they,
love peanut butter. Mm-hmm.
this right here, and this may be your go-to for
For
protein.
protein. See, thank you. Yeah, because I have an issue with protein, and my son and I know it's true. If unless I can get some protein in my body, and my body's just going to hold on. My body is just holding on to this fat, like it's afraid it's never going to get any other food because some days I don't really give it much.
When you
Right?
start eating protein, your body will build more muscle, which will build your metabolism.
Okay, I'm going
Yeah,
to do that.
I'm
So
still, but I'm gonna grab my
peanut butter.
charger while we're
Oh yeah,
talking.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, my son had
No.
to charge up my computer. I had my phone set up for the meeting here instead of tablet.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. It just sounds we've had some issues with people playing guitar and then had to do some editing and actually had to have one person come back on and just over and do the guitar parts over. So he's gotten real picky about getting on here and making sure people, which I'm glad because I don't know how to do it. But Zoom is real weird. So, but I guess he's got you set up, so that's good.
Yeah.
So I came across your, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or we just have a lot of common friends, but somehow one of your songs, I think you were doing a, maybe it was a Facebook live because you seemed like you were singing at like an outdoor event. And I remember you were singing Toby Keith, I Love This Bar. Do
Mm.
you know which one I'm talking? And so I just kind of got stuck there listening to you and was just completely blown away by your talent. I mean, just wow, you're super talented. And so I was just captivated by you. And I didn't even know you, but I was just stuck watching this. I don't know if it was a Facebook Live recording, but it came on my feed and I watched nearly the whole thing. And so, is that music? Has that always been a part of your life? Is that something you've always done?
Um, yeah, I mean, when I was younger, yeah, I definitely, that era of country music was important to me. I mean, other styles of music too, but obviously with my type of voice, country is going to be the best fit. That doesn't mean I only sing country songs, but I primarily sing country songs. And I also do some gospel music, like from the facilities and stuff. I'll do old school gospel. And on our original releases, we do country and gospel. We do, some other stuff, but primarily country and gospel, which, like I said, just vocally and stylistically, it's a good fit for me.
Well,
And
it's like when I was in college and I just sing all the time, just here and there. Just if I'm moving, I'm singing. And one of the girls at the dorm I was living in, she said, everything you sing sounds country. And I was like, what? And she said, no, don't be offended. I think you're a fabulous singer. If you had a CD, I'd buy it. But I'm just saying, it just sounds country. It doesn't matter what you sing. You make it sound like country music. So sometimes if you just have that kind of accent and that kind of voice,
we,
and you can sing some rock and roll and some blues and some
yeah,
whatever you're going to sing is good.
we released a song not too long ago, a Christian song called "God of Second Chances," and literally the only thing at all that sounds country on that is just my voice. So to me, it's not a country song.
Right.
It's just if you listen to it, there's nothing about it to me that sounds country. But when it got pitched, they immediately, because of my voice, they identified it as a country Christian song. And
See,
so
that's
part of that's a
right.
perception thing too. I mean, the word country has become a very
Yeah.
eclectic word. It's always had some eclectic, but now it's really gotten where it's become so many different things that they can label as country. Some songs that to me aren't country at all.
Right. Well, this has been 20 years ago when country sounded like country, but you're right. This is when that was said to me. But yeah, nowadays, who knows what country is? I mean, it's, You got that far Appalachian sound now, with Oliver Anthony and Tyler Childers and that very Appalachian sound. And then all the way down to like that Georgia country, like with Kane Brown, Jason Aldean, which kind of is a poppy, got like a pop funk feel to it, kind of, and everything in between. So I mean, you could give us your opinion on that. I don't really have one. I'm one of the only people you'll meet that don't really have an opinion. I listen to Tyler Childers and Morgan Wallen.
You know, I think everybody's got opinions. I have opinions on stuff, and I mean, but regardless, my opinion may not hold merit to some people. I think country has stylistic roots. If you go back to
Mhm.
go way back, Jimmy Rogers, Ernest Tubb, Hank Sr., and a lot of the
Yeah.
artists that were emerging, they followed in the footsteps of their predecessors to some degree,
Mhm.
But then when country began to fundamentally shift, you could tell that the footsteps that these artists were following in was not country music that we knew. It was a different style. It was pop and R&B and rock and this fusion thing, and they throw a little twang on there. And
Right.
with that said, though, um, it is what it is.
Yeah. It
So
doesn't matter to me. I'll listen to all of it. And I'm one of the only people I know. I know on Facebook now it's kind of calmed down because it's went a different direction. You know how social media circles around, but there for a long time, maybe last year, a couple of years ago, there was this thing where either people were team Tyler Childers or team Morgan Wallen. And I was like, just because you like one doesn't mean you have to hate the other. Like, let's do away with the hate. You can say, I prefer one, but to actually badmouth and trash talk and slander somebody that you don't know personally, because most of these people don't know either one of those men personally. So to take somebody you don't know personally and to slander them on social media is I just felt like was unacceptable. Like that's unacceptable, decent behavior.
and
Like,
even Tyler Childers, something like that, which more people would say is closer to country music, is really more of a root. It's um, I mean, it'd be closer to, something more like, it's a mountain sound. I call it a mountain sound,
I
really. And
call it an Appalachian sound. It is. It's a mountain sound.
you
Yeah.
know, so Morgan Wallen, he's got elements of hip hop and pop and R&B and stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I think there are some things. I think for a while it's just a lot of country fans were feeling disenfranchised because a lot of the music they love was completely being shoved off the radio in replacement, and they were putting these pop artists in there, pop twang artists, and it was really
Right.
ticking off a lot of people.
Oh
So
yeah, they were very offended.
with
It
that,
was a big deal on social media.
it made artists like Cody Jinks and different ones start to rise up that were closer to what they were wanting, what they were craving, and
Right.
you had these people that are really not in touch with the heritage of country music that were taking over country music. There's been songs
Right.
like Murder on Music Row that are written by they're released by George Strait, Alan Jackson. So it's not like this is a new thing. But country is evolving, and the thing is, the listeners will choose what they want to listen to regardless.
Right.
So as for
Music
a
is
person like me, I don't even listen to radio anymore.
I don't
I
either.
I actually, I mean, when I'm listening to music, I mean, I have certain things I listen to, and I do have to study some music. I mean, I have to learn a little bit of the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My roots are more in, Toby Keith. I can go back, way back, into the early parts of country music. Up until about when Florida Georgia Line came on the scene is about when my repertoire starts to dip. You know,
Mm-hmm. Um, I don't listen to radio either. I just listen mostly I listen to Spotify.
Mm.
That way I can pick and choose kind of what I want to listen to. But speaking of the early roots of country music, we were laughing because we were talking about this just the other day, me and my son, and he's 24. And I was saying one of his earliest songs that he sang by the time that he was 2, I had him singing Roger Miller songs. And
Mm.
people would come to the house and they would want to hear him because he would go doop 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 doop. Yeah. And he was a little tiny feller and he knew all the Roger Miller songs. And so how funny is that that's what I started him out on was listening to Roger Miller. And still to this day, well, I will spin a Roger Miller song right now. Yes, and love it.
Yeah, I do. I'll do King at the Road at
That's a
facilities.
great one. Yeah. Well, I think we got to talk about it because I don't remember what he said. He said something about he can't do this or can't do that. And I said, we also can't roller skate in a buffalo herd, but you can be happy if you have a mind to. And so he knew exactly what that meant. And I thought that's really awesome because there's probably not many 24-year-olds in the world that you could say, hey, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd, and they wouldn't know what in the world you were talking about. And so I felt like that was a bomb win for me. Like, all right, he knew exactly what that meant.
Yeah, and you'll hear that too. It's not just country music, but where the listeners will identify with the music from their parents or even their grandparents' generation. So
Hmm.
with rock, if a kid's listening to Van Halen or they're listening to Steppenwolf, they're listening to some of these. Even with rap, like somebody might be listening to music from yesterday. It's funny. I go in the bank and they'll be playing music. I'm like, this old people music, ain't they? They're like, yeah, it's old people music. It's something, that's from, well, before it was even more old people music. Now they're playing like 90s to 2000s, so it's kind of old people music. It's not
Kind of old people music. Mom, they call it, my boys call it mom music.
mom.
If I'm listening to Alicia Keys or Nelly Furtado or Train, and they get mad at me for listening to Train, they're like, it's mom music.
Yeah, for us, those songs, for them, it's like that's the way it is,
Right.
though. I
That's
mean,
the way it is.
I watched this meme the other day. I was like, I don't want to get too much into it because I want to start cracking on some of this music. But I mean, there was one of them, and the guy was just like, I watch it and then I look at it, and he's like so popular in the world, but then his music I'm listening to, I'm like, what's the appeal here? So there was one song I looked up the other day. It's not country, but this song
Right.
had 500 million listens, and it literally the whole time I'm listening to it, waiting for it to kick, and the whole thing, it almost felt like just this mood, like almost like an intro or something. I don't know. 500 million listens. I'm like, who is listening to this?
Never did drop. Right. Who's
I don't
listening to
think I
this?
did.
I
I got
wonder the
about
same
I
thing
got a
about
minute
some
and
songs.
42 seconds into it, and the song was 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. I'm like, I just
Can't do it.
where So for me, like, could I create something like that? Could I? Yes. Should I? I wouldn't identify with that. There'd
Am
be
I going
nothing.
to be able to live with myself right
I'd
afterwards?
have to have a really good purpose to create something like that. So for me, um, the songs that we create, they do have stories, they have melodies, we have hooks. There's different. Some songs are fun and lighthearted. Some of them are very. It just depends. We have a kind
Do
of a spectrum that we do.
you write a lot of your own songs?
Yeah, almost everything that we release originals, I've wrote or co-wrote.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Would you like to play one for us now?
Sure. Do you want me to do country or gospel or?
Do one of each. You do one now and you can do one later. So pick one each. That's good.
Okay. Well, how about we do a fun country song? And with this said, I'll do
Okay.
one of the songs that we released that's actually not my song, but it's a song that was written by a friend of mine, and it's one that I absolutely love. And a lot of times I'll end my show with it. And
Okay.
like I said, it's available for download. We released a version of it called Big Star. So this was written by my friend Kenny Clark. I'm on a real small stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. 2, 3. Well, I'm on a real small stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. Driving on Ford truck, but it feels like I'm driving me a Cadillac car. She makes me feel like I'm 10'3". I'm as happy as I can be. On a real small stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. She's cool, she's hot, she's everything I'm not. She's kind, she's sweet, she just loves to hear me sing. She's soft, she's tough, when the bar gets a little too rough. In the middle of my show, she puts on a redneck honky-tonk low. I'm on a real small stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. Driving on Ford truck, but it feels like I'm driving me a Cadillac car. She made me feel like I'm 10'4". I couldn't love her anymore. On a real small stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. On a 2-room ranch, but it feels like I'm living in the Taj Mahal. She made me feel like I'm 10'5". I'm so happy to be alive. On a real small stage, but she got me feeling like a big star. Driving on 4 truck, but it feels like I'm driving me a Cadillac car. She made me feel like I'm 10'5". She put my heart in overdrive. On a real small stage, she got me feeling like a big star. Well, she made me feel like I'm 10'5". I'm so happy to be alive. On a real small stage, she got me feeling like a big star. Well, I'm on a real small stage, she got me. I'm on a real small stage, she got me. I'm on a real small stage, she got me feeling like a big star.
I forget to unmute it. I love it. I love it. That, I mean, fantastic's not the word. Fantastic's not even the word for that song. That's an amazing song. I could listen to that all day.
I did not write that one nor co-write on that one, but my friend Kenny Clark wrote that song, and it's just
you're right. It is a fun little song too. I mean, it's just a toe tapper. Like it's definitely a great song. That needs to be on the radio somewhere.
When we did the production on it, if you listen to it, we tried to go with a George Strait type of influence on that song, you know.
It reminds me of a George Strait type of song. I could hear him doing that. I could hear him, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, we do some country stuff. We do some gospel stuff, you know.
So how is you do gospel stuff? So you're Christian. Tell me how has faith played a part in your life, in your music? Where does that all fit in there?
It's always been a part of it, even when I was, you know, I had some time where life happened and I was really struggling with some stuff, you know, including alcohol and different stuff. But I was finally able to, you know, thank God, get back to a path of sobriety. And, so more and more, I think now where it's at, you know, when I'm doing facility shows, you know, like playing for our elderly, I have a few that'll do 100% gospel. Most of them do kind of a 50-50 blend-ish. But, you know, there's always some element of gospel stuff in there. And then at the nighttime shows, I'll try to throw in one per set that's kind of a gospelish song. You know, I'm never doing something overtly gospel like Blessed Assurance or Old Rugged Cross, right, unless somebody asks for it. But we have songs like King No More and different tunes that we've wrote that have, a gospel influence to some degree.
Right.
You know,
there was a song I remember hearing you sing, and I don't know if you wrote it, and it was all I remember about the lines is "You show me your scars and I'll show you mine."
Show me your scars. Yes.
Show me your scars. I loved it. It was fabulous.
Yeah. When I was driving down the road one day and I was just thinking about that, about a person that came to God, and they're like, you know, they're at the altar and they're like, God, I'm too scarred, you know, I'm too stained. And God's like, show me your scars and I'll show you mine. And it hit me.
Oh, that's good.
But a lot of us, if we're really being honest with ourselves and comparing ourselves to what the Bible says, all of us are fundamentally, it says we've all gone astray. Like, there's none of us that could stand before God on our own and be okay, you know.
Right.
With that said, that doesn't, you know, that's, you know, if we're comparing ourselves to God's standard, then on our own we have no hope. But through Jesus, you know, we have that hope, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, compared I mean, everybody, you know, struggles with something and sometimes multiple things. And I mean, even the Apostle Paul said, you know, he said, hey, the things I want to do, I don't do. And the things I don't want to do are exactly the things I do every day. God help
That's
me. So
that's
even Paul said, man, I'm struggling here,
that's where crucifixion comes in handy. And I'll tell you, if you don't, will you give me just 1 minute? I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, no, go. No, do your thing.
Apologize about that.
No
One of the
worries.
one of the things on the diet, just being 100% honest, watermelon's a good item, so you can eat a lot of watermelon. But with that, you
Oh,
got.
yeah.
I mean, I
No,
literally I polished off a whole watermelon today. And that's one of the things about this diet is if you can eat the right things, you can eat a lot of them. And watermelon, if you actually look up watermelon diets, there's some people that use watermelon to lose weight because you can eat a ton of it.
I didn't
Um,
know that. I just assumed it had a lot of sugar because it was sweet. I love watermelon. Love
you
it.
can 3/4 of a pound of watermelon is only 100 calories.
Okay.
So
Three
you could eat
quarters
an
of a
eight
pound.
pound watermelon, I mean, I've had nights where I've eaten 10, 11, 12 pound watermelons, and then like I lost almost 10 pounds overnight because a lot of the water.
Wow. I can eat I'll eat watermelon until my stomach hurts.
Yep. I
I love it.
got a whole one right there. There's one I finished off, and then I finished off another one the other day.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Watermelon's one of the best fruits on this diet. But like I said, with that, I had to run to the restroom real
Oh
quick.
yeah. You gotta go
So
to the
with
bathroom.
that said, and that's a fundamental thing is if we're really being honest in our own efforts, just like Paul, he was very aware of that he was fundamentally flawed without Christ. And that,
Right.
Jesus says, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. And he says, therefore will I glory in my infirmities, for when I am weak, I'm strong because Christ is working through me. So that death,
Right.
we can't crucify ourselves. This is a supernatural work that has to happen within us, and
Right.
sometimes we're like Adam and Eve. We're hiding in the bushes, afraid of God because of the sin, realizing that God has the one that has to clothe us, and He's not going to clothe us with physical clothing. He's going to clothe us with the blood of Christ. Um, so really, a lot of it, kind of like Jonah, life happened, and I got frustrated, and I was kind of running and handling things, trying to handle my pain and different things my own way, through alcohol and different things, um, knowing that ultimately it's probably not going to work, but still trying it anyway. But if you look at the story of the prodigal son, the prodigal son finally he realizes that hey, this is not working, and he comes home, and the father doesn't beat him up. The father's very happy to welcome him back, and so within those songs, I mean, some of them like I'll do one here for you a minute, and it was actually about my last night drinking, which was 3.5 years ago, and God gave me grace one more time, because I was powerless over it. I still am powerless over it without God, if we're being 100%
Right.
honest. I cannot normally drink. Not, I don't need to either. But so the other night I was singing this song, and I also had requested to "Show Me Your Scars" that same night, and it may be in the same night you were watching. Um, but I did this song, "Let Me Be Known by My Savior." I used to be known by my sin. Let me be known by my Savior, and that's actually coming out Friday.
Okay. Yeah. Do that one.
And
Perfect.
I had posted that online. I had somebody suggest, "Hey, we should write the song," so I co-wrote that song, and it's very closely related to that moment in my life. And the thing is, so a lot of people they beat themselves up. They're like, "I'm not good enough," God can't accept me. And if you're really been true, none of us are good enough. So you got
Right.
to stop putting yourself up on this pedestal like you're unsavable. And when you just come to God humbly, then He can begin to do the work. You know.
And that doesn't mean that you're perfect. And I think that people think that you have to be perfect or you can't sin. And I know just being from Eastern Kentucky, one of the big catchwords in the church in Eastern Kentucky is backslid. She's backslid or he's backslid because you know, did something
I'm
wrong. And
I'm
so
from
you
Pike County.
immediately, huh?
I'm from Pike County.
Pike County. Yeah. So you immediately, in my experience growing up in that culture, there's so much condemnation and so much judgment. And then, you get saved when you're young, and then you go out and you have a wild night partying and drinking. Well, then, the old people immediately, well, she's backslid. And so then you think, well, I'm backslid. So I might as well, just go on and do whatever I want to do without knowing that, you can't really lose your salvation just if you're truly saved. Just because you mess up does not mean that God's not there. Right.
we used to go to Forge Branch Church of Christ was the church there, and I was 10 years old, or how I don't remember how old I was, somewhere in there. Anyway, I was wearing shorts. I came to church, and one of the guys there was like, "You can't wear shorts in this church. You'll go to hell." And they're like, "Harold, leave him alone." I can't remember what his name was, but they're like, "Leave that boy alone." You know, and sometimes you have legalistic people like that. They're like, "You got to wear a suit and tie, this and that." But no, God's like,
Yeah.
"Come as you are." And you're right. If you really realize it, even at your best efforts, it says our righteousness as filthy rags. So we are 100% dependent on this supernatural work that has to happen. It is not a work of the flesh. You cannot do it. It has to be Christ. It has to be the manifestation of the Holy Spirit working in your life through you and changing you. You cannot do it. You can try to mimic it, but then there's going to be many people that stand before God and He's going to say, "I never knew you," because they put on the affront, they put on the clean garments, and they did all these acts, but their heart was never right with God. They never prepared themselves for God. They actually put themselves as God, and they put themselves as good enough, and they offered up this stench to God. That's really, and that's a hard message for people. They don't want to hear that because it's like, what, I'm not good enough? No, you're really not.
Yeah.
But that's where Christ did the work that none of us are capable of doing.
Right.
So the message of these songs, when I can go out of place and sing songs like Whiskey Bent and Hellbound, and I can sing songs like Your Cheating Heart, but then I can throw in a song along the way. So like that night, I'm doing that, and one of the guys out there, I know he's struggling with alcohol, and they were applauding because the song that they all knew that there's many of them that can drink normally. They drink one or two drinks. It's not their vice. But for people like me, people like him, we struggle with that. So and I'm thankful. Like I said, I got 3.5 years sobriety, thank God. But it's there's an opportunity there, and some Christians might say, they don't like what I do. They might not think going and singing a country song. But you know what? These songs are useful tool for certain people that might minister to them. I had one the other
Well,
day. He shared a song with me, a rap song. It was a Christian rap song. He's not a Christian, but you know what? I spoke to him just briefly, and he shared this song with me, and I was like, "Well, I'll check it out after church." He's like, "Well, they'll like it in church." And it's just that kind of discussion. When you love someone, some people, they don't love people because they're backslidden. They look down on them, and they don't realize that in that moment their heart's not right. They're looking down on that person as if they're like a Pharisee looking down on the publican.
right.
God's working on us that we have to love people.
You have to love. That's the greatest commandment. That's the commandment of all commandments is you have to love because
I
without
might not
love,
like them
you're
all, but
you don't have to like, yeah, but you have to love because
I
without
gotta
love,
love them the way that
you're
Christ loved
nothing.
them.
Right. Yeah,
So
without love, you're what I mean, if Corinthians Paul said without love, I mean, you're just like us bong bong bong. You're nothing. You're just like your words are meaningless. You have to love people and that is the commandment. And I heard a testimony once about you talking about singing country music and then throwing a Christian song in there. I was told one time by a man, I'm saved because of Johnny Cash because I was a Johnny Cash fan and I listened to everything that Johnny Cash did. And then all of a sudden I realized that Johnny Cash is singing Christian songs and he's singing about God. And he said, I didn't know anything about God, but I thought, well, if Johnny Cash says he's all right, then he must be all right. And he said, then I started because of Johnny Cash. I got a Bible and I started reading the Bible and I started going to church.
yeah,
And I thought, well, that's an I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not telling people to go sing at bars and be Johnny Cash, but I'm just saying sometimes you do what God asks you to do and you let your light shine. I think that people look at musicians like, if you're a musician, that's your job. Well, you can only sing in church. But I mean, are you going to say to a beautician, you can only work in a Christian beauty shop, or to a mechanic, you can only work in a Christian mechanic shop? No, we work where we work and we work in the world. And I think that goes back to people considering they don't consider the arts real jobs. Go get a real job, boy. I mean, that's what they say to us.
yeah,
If you're a
yeah.
writer, if
Go
you're a
get her
singer,
job.
if you're a poet, go get a real job. So that's back to the world does not consider what we do necessary. And it is absolutely fundamentally necessary and can be proven. The arts and music are fundamentally necessary to our well being, right? And they just are. But people still don't consider a real job, but yeah, it's your job. And so you take your light and you let it shine in your workplace. And your workplace sometimes is nursing home, sometimes is county fairs, sometimes might be a bar. That's your workplace, and you're letting that light shine, right?
I had, I was praying about that. I was actually in church the other day, and I think it was a church where I felt like God shared it with you. When I create these songs, we have to invest in these songs. They're not free to make, but they are an offering unto the Lord. So when you do the music, you're not always going to pull back every dollar for dollar that you invest.
Right.
But for one, you are building your brand, but it is an offering unto the Lord. When you do it, and you realize that the money that you own is the Lord's money, and your body belongs to the Lord. You're using it for His service. Like the whole thing is an offering unto the Lord. You know, if it's done with that motive. Now, if it's done for
Understood.
selfish gain, then that's not necessarily an offering to the Lord. But what
Right.
is your motive for what you do? So
But
like
that's
even
also, go ahead. Sorry.
working out. Like, am I working out so I can get big muscles to get attention? No, I'm working out primarily for my health. I want to be healthier. I'm doing it in a natural way, in a healthy way, and simultaneously, it's inspiring some people. I'm having more people that are interested in the recipes and interested in trying to get back into the gym, and so
Right. Well, you've inspired me, and I didn't even have you on for that reason, but it's what a nice surprise. Peanut butter protein.
I'll get you
But
some
yeah, I
now.
was I was getting ready. Well, the nearest Walmart's 35 minutes for me, so I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow. But yeah. But I was gonna say, yeah, speaking of like your body being, your money belongs to the Lord, your body belongs to the Lord. The Bible says, and I think about this sometimes, your body's a temple of the Holy Spirit. And man, I think I need to be taking better care of this. And I know that I'm not in my 20s anymore. I don't might not even be in my I might be in my mid 30s,
We're
early
somewhere
30s.
in there.
I'm 29. Okay, I'm 29. Okay, let's just be honest. I can't lie on the podcast. I'm 29. Okay. So, but I realize I'm not 21. 29 is not 21, and maybe I should probably take better care of this temple because I realize that I'm not, and that's not just, it's not that I eat just a ton of junk, but I'm not working out. And I realize that soda is so bad for me and sugar is so bad for me. And I'm just, it's an addiction and it's inflammatory and I got a lot of stuff happening. And so, yeah, if you look at things with a different motivation, like you said, your money or even your health, and I've been really trying to look at it like that, like from a godly perspective, like do let me do this to take care of a body that God gave me. And so I can go on and do, there might be somebody that needs me 20 years down the road. There might be somebody's life that I can touch, or somebody might need some help. And I need to be able to be around to do that.
Yeah, and you can always reach out if you got questions. But I mean, like even stuff like, let's say you like soda. Let's say you drink 3 sodas a day. Well, if you can start changing it to 2 sodas a day, and you substitute one of those sodas for a Coke Zero or
Mhm,
something else, and then you start weaning yourself up off of the
mhm.
sugar. I actually use very little sugar. There are some things like I have 100-calorie ice cream bars that I'll eat. So there are certain things that I eat, and I eat natural sugars like oranges, watermelon. Um, you know,
I just
I
threw my sugar in the trash last week, the whole bag, white sugar, straight in the trash because
yeah.
I drink sweet tea and I just load it with sugar because I'm a Southern girl and I love it. Sweet tea is actually my vice more than soda. And I load it with sugar. I
Well,
hate sweet tea with stevia. It doesn't taste right. It's gross. That's right, but that's not tea. But I'm gonna have to just make my peace with that I
yeah,
can't have every single thing I want. I'm a spoiled, rotten little girl and I just want what I want, right?
with the diet, a lot of times he'll say, we're used to 10 on 10 things. We like our ice creams, we like our big, hamburgers and stuff. And there's protein hamburgers I can make, there's protein ice creams. So he's like, if you can get the new food to taste like an 8 on 10, where it's still pretty good, it may not be
Right.
the full 10, but it's good enough that you're like, hey, like even this peanut butter, does this taste as good? No, but does it taste good enough? Yes. Does it taste better than good enough? Yes, I enjoy it. I actually enjoy that
Okay.
peanut butter. And the fact that I can eat a half pound of it for 400 calories really makes me enjoy it.
Yes. I love peanut butter. Okay. Well, enough jib jabbing about, I'm so, you got me excited about weight loss, which maybe, okay, I'm excited now. I'm gonna let you know if I'm still excited tomorrow.
One little thing, the peanut butter. Start there.
Okay. I'm going to start
Or
there
just
with
try
getting
one
me
thing
some
and you get
protein in me.
excited, like, I want to try something else out, and it'll come around.
Okay.
Do we have time? Do you want me to do this last song or?
Yes, please. Please do me this song. Okay.
Okay. There once was a time I'd shut the beer joints down. Back then you'd say that I was lost, but now I'm found. I used to live for me, but now I live by the King James. Thank God for His amazing grace, 'cause everything has changed. I used to be known by my sin, but let me be known by my Savior. Help me die to myself and let love live again. I wanna trade my here and now for your forever. I used to be known by my sin. Now let me be known by my Savior. Every path I chose led to another dead end. I thought I was a free man, was a slave to my sin. I finally picked that Bible up and I put that bottle down. I got down on my knees and said this prayer out loud. I used to be known by my sin, but let me be known by my Savior. Help me die to myself, let love live again. I wanna trade my here and now for your forever. I used to be known by my sin, but let me be known by my Savior. Used to live for me, but now I live by the King James. Thank God for His amazing grace, 'cause everything has changed. I used to be known by my sin, but let me be known by my Savior. Help me die to myself, let love live again. Wanna trade my here and now for your forever. Oh, what a mess I was in. I was known by my sin. Now let me be known by my Savior. I wanna be known by my Savior.
Well, so that song just slayed me. I'm just here weeping. Now is my mascara messed up? Look. Yes, it is. um, so how you said you got that idea on the way home from work, right?
No,
Or just driving in your
well, no, that was the Show Me Your Scars. I was
Oh,
driving.
that's a Show Me Your Scars. Okay.
That one I had just posted that online. I used to be known by my sin. Now let me be known by my Savior. And somebody recommended uh, should turn that into a song. And so, we discussed the angle, and it really kind of formulated around the last night of drinking and you know just that that God gave grace. That last night I was in a jail cell and I was just having a conversation with God, and He's like, "This doesn't make you happy."
Right. Well, thank you for coming on. I have been excited about this all day. And you made me laugh. You made me cry. You can't ask for more than that. And I learned about peanut butter protein powder. It's a perfect podcast.
There's
Peanut
also
butter
one that's a
protein powder.
chocolate. There's a PB Fit that's a chocolate too. So I'm just telling you, as you start learning this stuff, and you can message me, I can start introducing
And
you to
and does
ideas.
the chocolate have protein as well? Now is it chocolate peanut butter or just chocolate?
It's like that. It's powdered peanut butter, but it's chocolate flavored. It'll taste like Nutella, from what I understand. And then, so getting into
Mm,
it, hang on a little bit farther. So there's stuff like this.
mm. I'm gonna get me some of that chocolate peanut butter.
This is
Mm,
one I use a lot. This is a chocolate whey protein. I use this to make protein shakes, protein ice
hmm.
cream stuff. But they even have
Okay.
stuff like this one, which is Fruity Pebbles. You can get Moon Pie.
Where
Yeah,
did you get that?
Walmart.
Does it taste like Fruity Pebbles?
Yes.
That's my favorite cereal.
And it's protein powder. So you can literally take this and use either milk or I'll show you what it looks like here.
So,
It's like a protein powder, and it
and
literally
it
has
takes.
little speckles in it, like blue, and it looks like little.
Oh, I wish I was there to smell that right now, but that smells delicious. Does it smell like Fruity Pebbles?
Yes.
Mm.
And what I like doing with this is I actually take sugar-free. I'll show you kind of. This is something I do. This is something I do. I make protein pudding. So I take like something like this.
Protein pudding. Now, see, now you're talking my language. My son keeps trying to feed
Sugar-free
me
Jello.
eggs.
Sugar-free Jello
Sugar-free
pudding.
Jello pudding. That's
I,
pistachio. I love
I,
pistachio.
I like putting Fruity Pebbles with pistachio, but
Now,
you can also do it with vanilla, whatever. But I take this whole thing,
protein.
like a whole thing of this, put one scoop of this in there, let it set up, and then I'm eating protein pudding.
But do you make that with milk?
You can.
Like, what do you make it
He
with?
recommends 2 cups of skim milk.
Okay. Skim milk. Here in my house, we have half and half.
Yeah. And so the thing is, yeah, half and half's got a lot more fats, a lot more
Like,
calories.
I mean,
So
look,
even if you
don't
can
don't
drop
make me
down.
stand up and show you how thick I am, and you'll know that I'm drinking half and half.
Hey, I've been there, red top, blue top, all that. But the thing is, once you start drinking the skim milk and stuff like that, it's going to be adjustment. And so even if you don't like skim milk, may be too watery for you in the beginning, you might just cut down to 2%. And
Well,
after a
I'll tell
while,
you
you're
this.
like,
I don't know if I can drink skim milk, but I can drink almond milk. I don't mind it. I like it. Is that fine?
almond milk is a lot less calories, but it doesn't have the protein ratio. So almond milk, if you do sweetened almond milk, it's 60 calories with 1 gram
No,
of
we
protein.
do. We do unsweetened original.
Unsweetened is 30 calories with 1 gram of
Hmm.
protein. So almond milk is good as a low calorie thing. But skim milk is 80 calories with 8 grams of protein. So it's a lot more protein.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
milk,
So I really need to work on that skim milk thing then. Okay.
yeah, skim milk or even 1%, the higher the fat percentage, the more calories you get.
Wait,
But
is skim milk is lower than 1%?
yes,
Oh, so it's like water. That's like that colored water, isn't it?
you're used to drinking red top and stuff like that, it's going to be like watery milk. But the thing is,
Yeah.
like, let's say you make the pudding and you put skim milk in it.
I probably wouldn't know, would I?
It's going to be a thing. So what I would recommend easing into it. Start with 2% or maybe 1%. Get you something
Okay.
that then just ease into it. You don't have to jump all the way into the deep end with this. But once you start doing it, if you can do it, and then you do it, and then you do it again, and you do it again. After a while, you're like, it becomes a new normal. And then after a while, it's kind of like. So then this is going to sound a little gross, but I was listening to a guy talking about skim milk, and he's like, he was actually talking about diet soda, and then he talked about the adjustment to skim milk. And he said, if you're used to drinking skim milk and then you go back to the other one, it's like slime. It's like because it's got a thicker, creamier. It's a
Yeah.
different texture. So I still like the high calorie milk, but I can't enjoy it as much because then I'm drinking more calories, so I don't get to eat as much.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but like I said, you get this sugar-free Jello
And
pudding.
the Fruity Pebbles protein. Now, see, now you're helping me because my son just tries to fix me eggs and meat and force me to eat protein that I
You
can't do it.
You can also get this is a dairy-based protein, but you can also get pea protein, which is a plant-based protein. It's a little less effective, but it's still good. It's way
Okay.
better than nothing. So the part of this diet, you don't want to be eating things that you don't enjoy. You
Right.
want to find things that you enjoy. So like peanut butter, Fruity Pebbles protein powder. I'm giving you some ideas here.
Yes.
Moon
I
pie
love those.
protein powder. They've got cheesecake. They've got blueberry.
Now, where's
I
that?
love,
This is at Is this at Walmart?
yeah,
Which aisle is that in?
it's over by the pharmacy area. You'll see like the health. They'll have Atkins bars and stuff like that, and
Oh,
they'll
I know
have
the aisle.
protein powders.
Okay.
So
Okay. I
like
think I know that aisle. Is that the aisle that the Slim Fast is also in?
fast and all that.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't believe how many boxes of Slim Fast that I bought thinking I'm going to lose weight, and then
I'll
they
show
just
you
said,
this. This is one of the neat things I do. I actually make a mac and cheese that you can lose weight on. And it tastes really good. And it uses this, which is an unflavored whey protein. So I
okay.
add this in there to boost the protein ratios up. And it tastes like great mac and cheese. Kids love it.
What
Everybody
do
that's
you
ever
do?
tried it.
Do you just make regular mac and cheese and add that
I use
unflavored
regular
protein?
macaroni noodles. I make a protein roux. And then I use a 2% Velveeta. And then I use salt, pepper, onion, garlic, and and then
A
if I want to add
protein roux. So how are you doing that? Are you using butter?
nope. I use
Okay.
non-fat Greek yogurt, fat-free cottage cheese, and skim milk, which doesn't sound whatever, but when you blend that up, it creates this kind of white sauce, white protein sauce. And then when you throw the 2% Velveeta in there, and you throw the salt and the pepper and the onion and the garlic in there, the flavors come to life. And then you add in this. So then at the end, you have an anabolic mac and cheese. And then I'll add a can of tuna or a can of chicken on top. If I want to add more protein in there.
Now I like tuna. I'll eat tuna sandwiches.
So tuna's great. There you go.
Hmm.
And if you can do it on keto bread, you can eat
Yeah.
even 2 pieces of this. And this also will help with your fiber. But like I said, 2 pieces of this is 12 grams of protein.
I tried to do keto too. I've tried to do everything, but I can't stick with anything. I did lose 8 pounds in 1 week on keto. 8 pounds in 1 week. But
What it does
can
is keto flushes out water. So it's
Mhm.
not burning fat, and that I use parts of keto in my diet. Because like for instance, instead of eating white bread, which has got a lot of sugar, I eat keto bread. But
Yeah.
I don't eliminate carbs completely. But we can talk
Well,
more later. I'll teach
you
you some.
know, this is TMI. It's totally too much information. But I did keto, lost 8 pounds, loved it, and I didn't poop for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so the body
Right,
has to
because
adjust.
my body was full of meat and cheese and no vegetables or fiber of any kind. And I'm like, the 8 pounds was great, but I can't do that. And so, but let me tell you something about the keto. I didn't overeat afterwards. I just kind of went back to eating normal. I gained those 8 pounds back probably 3 days.
It's a water thing. When you start eating carbs again, your body will hold that water back. So,
Right. Like 3 days. It was all back. And I'm like, how did I gain 8 pounds in 3 days?
but I can help you with this, and we'll burn body fat is what we'll do.
That's what I have plenty to burn. There's no
We'll
shortage.
hop off here. I'm gonna go hit the gym here.
All right, go hit the gym. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch, okay?
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks. Bye.